Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a 2021 bookshelf tour as well as a little bit of a filming setup. I'm sort of laughing at myself because I feel like you guys may or may not be surprised to know that I do all of my filming on my phone. And I prop my phone up with my wallet because I have one of those phone cases that is also a wallet, so I just flip it and then tilt it. I just cannot justify spending a lot of money on a camera to get a slightly better, maybe a lot better, but to get a better image quality. I'm like, oh, it's good enough. That money can go toward better things. But I thought I would take you through some of my filming setup as well as what my bookshelves are currently looking like. So if you're new here, hi, hello. I have really fantastic local used bookstores where I live. I am very privileged to live in an area where I have great accessibility when it comes to books. So my bookshelves are frequently changing because they are amazing at giving you great store credit. And then also you can use that store credit to buy new books in the store. So a lot of times my husband and I, when maybe we felt lukewarm about a book, or maybe I really like a book but I want a different edition or something like that, I'll turn those books in, and then I often get new books with the store credit. So my bookshelves are frequently changing, and I do have quite a few unread books on my bookshelves. So I thought I would show you what they are currently looking like. I try to have the books that are in frame be ones that I have read and enjoyed so that you can have an idea of my tastes. But there's another shelf up here, and then there's some more shelves down here that you don't see that have a lot of unread books. I also have a TBR cart that we have titled Mr. Tabur, and that's got a whole other group of books on it. But anyway, let's jump into it because I've babbled for too long at this point, so let's get into it. So first, I wanted you all to get an idea of what I see. So I actually did buy some lights for myself. So I have two lights over here. I can control whether they're cool or warm, and that's nice. But I also have a few books stacked up here. This is where I place my phone. And then I have this adapter for the microphone, so I can plug this in. And this stand works great because if I have notes, if I'm going to film something, I can keep those there. I can also clean my glasses. I have the remote for controlling the lights. I'll show you what this is really quick, and then we'll jump into the bookshelves themselves. So normally I have this light turned off when I'm filming because it just doesn't, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the way it affects the lighting. But I will move all of this in a sec so that you can get a better view of the bookshelves. I wanted to show you though, this is what I do for Bookstagram pictures. I just have this old box that I use. I flip it upside down. I like the white, and then I have the little, a lot of times you can buy potpourri type things for really cheap at discount stores, and I'll kind of lay that kind of stuff out and then just plop a book down. I do that during the day, have the window open to do it. And then that's how I take Bookstagram pictures. So this is booktube over here, Bookstagram over here. I will also put little pieces of tape on the ground to keep track if I have to move the lights of where I like having them set up. I have the same thing in place for the stand and the other light. But moving on to the bookshelves, this is the current sort of bigger view of the shelves. I get asked quite a bit where I got these. I just got them from Walmart's website. So they're not fancy, they're not the best, but they do the job of holding up books. Also have Mr. Tabur over there and some games, as well as a couple of things that people have very nicely sent me. So if you're interested in the Cosmere games, I'll have a video linked about them. They're super fun. I'm gonna start with the more middle section that you typically see in my videos. Right in the center, we have a lot of Sanderson. So this time around when I organize my shelves, I like to try different things. I just really wanted things of similar sizes to be together. So I have a lot of my Sanderson hardbacks here, as well as the Strange the Dreamer duology, Queens of Innislear, and Queens of Renthia. So I have read all of the books that you see right there. Here we have the big floppy paperbacks. This is an arc of Rhythm of Four. I had somebody once comment on a video, they're like, oh, Rhythm of Four is shorter than Oathbringer, great, it's gonna suck, or something like that. And I was kind of like, oh, it's an arc, it's actually longer. But anyway, I also have my First Law floppy paperbacks. And then over here, I have a few that I have yet to read that I'm hoping to read this year. And then Bloodsong. I do have the rest of the series. I'm scared to read it because everybody says it's not very good. But I wanted to keep the first one up here because I've read this one, and then I have the other ones kind of put away because while I used to have it as a higher priority, currently, because I've heard so many negative things, I'm okay with just the one being up right now. Moving from there over to this side, I do get asked every now and then, why do I have a couple books turned around? And the reason for that is the third book in this trilogy and the third book in this trilogy are coming out soon. So I just turned some books around as placeholders currently because I know I'm going to want those going there. This is primarily some young adult fantasy that I've read, and I have read everything up until this last one on the shelf. Keeping the red books visible. Same goes for down here. Got a lot of V.E. Schwab and Fireborn, House of Dragons, the Ash Princess trilogy, the Blood of Stars duology, Descendant of the Crane, and then Long May She Reign. And then we've got some Final Fantasy giant books because I love Final Fantasy. So got those on the shelf, represent my love of those video games. Moving over here now to the left, we have kind of a mix of things. I still wanted to keep a lot of things of similar size by each other, and I just found that a lot of these hardbacks went well with the full metals. You gotta keep the full metal editions together, obviously. And once again, have read all of the books on the shelf, enjoyed all the books on the shelf. Moving up, we have, unfortunately, I have lent out Golden Sun and haven't gotten it back yet. So at some point this shelf is going to change. I have a feeling the thing that's going to change is I'm going to move these Joe Abercrombie's other books. I'm thinking I'll move those and then put Golden Sun back. I do have, like I said, some more Joe Abercrombie down there, but I haven't read these two yet. Just have them up here just in the meantime. But I so hope that Illumicrate continues with this beautiful Last Wish because we need more Witcher editions like that. I also have a lot of my Leigh Bardugo. I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of Leigh Bardugo's books, but you know, I'm a fan of the Grishaverse and I am not ashamed. And then we have some unread books here. I have not yet read Legendborn or Ruin of Kings, but those are buddy reads for January and February, so I'm really excited those will be read very soon. Sticking with those same concepts, we have this shelf down here. So this is where we start getting a mix of books that I have read and then haven't read as much. We'll go ahead and start here in the middle. So once again, yes, I have more editions of the Grishaverse. I have read Senlin Ascends, but this is an example of I haven't read books 2 and 3 but plan to. So it kind of is a mix of I've read and then haven't read. We also have quite a few of the buddy read books here, like The Tethered Mage and Gideon the Ninth, We Ride the Storm, The Bone Ships. Those are buddy reads that I'm doing with Jessie from the channel Jessie May this year. I'll have the buddy reads video linked in the description bar down below. I have not read this series by Marie Lu quite yet, but I have read the Seven Realms series, quite enjoyed it. And then Red Knight, haven't read, I've heard good things about it, but once again, it matched in size. And I have Orbit on the outer edges of this shelf. Over here we have, I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted not only size but color to be factored in on the shelf. I just thought this area looked so pretty. So excuse me for not being a real bookworm because I care about what the books look like on my shelf. But Polish Witcher editions, I do not speak Polish. I just freaking love these editions. I got them for my birthday and I will never get rid of them. Also have a bunch of the UK Sanderson books. The V.E. Schwab, the UK editions over there, match these. That's why I have them here instead of where I had V.E. Schwab up there. Have a copy of my book. And then we have two books I have not yet read, but I thought they looked nice on the shelf. And I love how pretty and bright those two are. Over here on this shelf, once again, similar to how we had Senlin Ascends, I have some books that I have read but haven't finished on with the series or have read other things by the author. Example would be The Knife Never Letting Go. I've read but not yet finished the trilogy. I have read the Arc of the Scythe trilogy but not Unwind, so I want to read those. I have read a book by Bridget Kemmerer and I want to read Letters to the Lost soon. Loved The Thief quite a bit. Sword of Kaigen was an honorable mention for favorites of the year. These two I have yet to read, but they are continuations of this series. This is the UK edition of the Shadow of the Fox trilogy, which I very much enjoyed. And then this, once again, I have a book turned around because my friend is borrowing it. That would be Ninth Rain. Have you heard me talk about Ninth Rain? I really like Ninth Rain. These are the next two. And then I do have another copy of The Downstairs Girl because I enjoyed that book. I liked it a lot. Down on the bottom, I'm not going to spend much time with because these are mostly unread. I've read some of these. Sometimes you'll see a similar pattern to like what I did with Bloodsong, where I have a book from the series here, but not all of them. So Aragon, a subscriber sent me that whole series, and I have the first one up here, but not the rest. I do still have the first, the other ones, but I just have the first one on the shelf. You can see that my dog a long time ago got into that one. I'm excited for that one a lot. But yeah, I have some in here that I've read, some I haven't. So these are books that I'm excited to get to, and I want to get to soon. But because I haven't read them, or haven't read most of them, I don't want them, I just don't want to mislead you guys into thinking that I've read them. Also, I have to have a good laugh. It looks like I'm such a Sarah J. Maas fan over here because I have these. My friend really likes Throne of Glass. I have read the first 3, and they're fun, but I'm never probably gonna have them be favorites or anything, but she loves them so much, and I love her because she's my friend, that I was like, oh, you know what, I want to get back into these. And then my husband bought me these awesome editions, so that's why I have so many Sarah J. Maas books over there. Nothing wrong with Sarah J. Maas, just want to be clear. I think it's awesome. Anytime I see Sarah J. Maas books and Sanderson books on someone's shelf, I'm like, that's an interesting person that likes both of these. So yeah, nothing wrong with it. I know lots of people make people feel bad about liking Sarah J. Maas, but I do not care what you read. Now for the very top, I won't get into this too much because I have a mix of books I have read, books I haven't read, and then different editions. So over here, I'll just point out the Polish editions of Mistborn. They're so cool. I love those books so much. Over here on this far end, we have these beautiful editions, a different edition of Mistborn, the anniversary ones. I couldn't believe it. I had a subscriber that sent me these. Oh, they're so cool. This is the First Law trilogy. I love those editions. And then we have a foreign edition of Way of Kings. It is awesome. I wish there were other editions like that one because it's so cool. From all of that, we go over to the corner where we have the TBR cart, and this has a lot of books I'm interested in reading. There's also some books on the other side, but for example, the Raven Shadow books, I had mentioned I just have the first one on the bookshelf, so you can see the sequels are there. And just in general, it's got a lot of books that I want to read at some point, and I just didn't have enough room on the shelves. That's it for how I currently have my books set up. Let me know how you like to organize your books. Do you have them set up alphabetically by last name? Do you have them where all the authors are together but not necessarily alphabetically? Do you do them by size? Do you do them by color? What's your method of organization? Whatever it is, I'm not one of those people that's like, that's stupid. And I get people that get upset about how other people organize their books. I'm like, oh, the height of entitlement and privilege. You're upset about how somebody's got their books organized? What is your life? Anyway, so I hope you had a fun time with this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye.